our lesson for today, I have here some tips and reminders about COVID-19. First one, clean your hands frequently. Use soap with water or an alcohol-based hand rub. Next, always cover your nose and mouth with your bent elbow or a tissue when coughing or sneezing. Third one, wear a mask, especially when physical distancing is not possible. Lastly, always maintain a safe physical distancing. Again, stay safe and healthy during COVID-19. Okay, let's start. Welcome to our lesson for this week, which is all about solving problems using Venn diagram. By the way, I am Miss Lornin E. Tolentino, your grade 7 mathematics teacher. Again, our lesson for this day is about solving problems involving sets with the use of Venn diagram. After going through this lesson, you were expected to first identify the kind of Venn diagram for each type of set. Next, solve word problems involving sets using Venn diagram. And lastly, apply the learned concepts to real-life situations. Okay, let's start. Let's define first what is Venn diagram. So, Venn diagram is a pictorial representation of sets represented by closed figures. So, as we all know, when we say sets a collection of distinct objects or elements. But for this time, gumagamit na tayo ng pictorial representation which is represented by closed figures. Walang iba kundi ang gagamitin nating figure for this time is circle. So, always remember that Venn diagram is also known as Venn-Euler diagram. So, for short, tinatawag na lang natin siyang Venn diagram. It is also used to show relationships between sets and to illustrate various operations like union, intersection, and difference, which is tackled on the previous lesson. But for this time, again, we're going to identify union, intersection, and difference with the use of Venn-Euler diagram. In solving word problems using Venn diagram, it is very important to understand the intersection, complement, union, and difference. So, under yung apat na yan, may different key terms tayo na pwede nyong isulat or i-take note para mas mabilis nyong masolve yung mga given problems natin mamaya using Venn diagram. So, let's start with the intersection. So, when we say intersection, ang lagi lang natin ginagamit na terms dyan or word is and all three. So, by the way, again, when we say intersection, ito po yung symbol niya, parang letter U na nakabaliktad. The set of all distinct elements that are both in set A and set B. Or simply, pag sinabi nating intersection, ano daw yung similar elements na makikita nyo sa set A na meron din sa set B or yung kanilang intersection, common elements. Next, when we say union. So, ang symbol naman natin for union is simply capital U. So, when we say union, ang ginagamit lang nating word dyan or term is or. So, pag nakakita kayo ng or, again, ang gagamitin nyo is union. So, when we say union, all distinct elements that are in set A or in B. Ibig sabihin, i-combine lang natin yung elements ng given sets. Ganun lang kasimple. Next one is complement. So, sa complement naman, ang mga usually terms na nakikita natin dyan is neither nor, neither or but not. No? So, ganun lang kasimple. Then, last one sa difference. So, again, pag sinabi naman nating difference, diba, alam nyo naman yan, nagbabawas tayo. So, when we say difference, it consists of elements that are in A but not in B. So, na-discuss na din yan sa previous lesson natin. At again, ang ginagamit natin yung symbol is simply subtraction. So, ang key terms din na tatandaan nyo under yung difference is but not or only. So, para mas maintindihan nyo, mamaya may mga given examples tayo with the use of the given terms under intersection, complement, union, and difference. Okay? So, the picture below show the Venn diagram for each set operations. So, let's study and analyze them and focus on the shaded regions. So, these are the set operations and Venn diagrams. So, let's start sa ating first figure. So, as you can notice, again, for this time, nagamit na tayo ng closed figure which is yung circle. And this is known as Venn diagram. So, ito po ang itsura ng ating Venn diagram. It represented by a closed figure again, which is none other than circle. So, as you can notice, meron tayo dalawang set A dyan. Ay dalawang set, which is set A and set B. So, as you can notice, ang label lang natin dito sa ilalim is simply set A. So, kaya, ang may shaded region lang natin sa ating Venn diagram is only set A, which is this part. So, yan. So, it represents na ang may element lang sa loob ng Venn diagram natin is simply set A. Walang laman yung set B natin. Then, second figure. So, it represents A prime or simply the complement of A. So, anong pinagkaiba ng first illustration natin sa second illustration natin ng Venn diagram? So, as you can notice, ito nga pala yung tinatawag nating universal set. Kaya tayo may box. Ibig sabihin yan yung universal, then may letter U lagi sa gilid. So, when we say complement, ibig sabihin, hindi dapat or walang element yung set A natin. So, as you can notice, lahat ng part ng universal natin ay may shaded part except kay letter or set A natin. So, yan. That's why it is known as complement A. Then, third feature natin is A and B are disjoint sets. So, when we say again disjoint sets, wala tayong same element. So, as you can notice, hindi nag-meet yung dalawang circle natin or walang point of intersection. Ibig sabihin, walang same element or common element kay set A as well kay set B. So, that's why they are disjoint sets. Then, fourth picture, this is known as B is proper subset of set A. Diba, alam naman natin na pag sinabing subset, it is part of our full set. Ibig sabihin, as you can notice, itong B is part, no? Parte daw siya ng buong set A natin, na tama naman. Then, this is our symbol for subset. Para siyang letter C. Then, fourth picture. So, both A and B, which is A intersect B, or this is the symbol for intersection. Again, alam naman natin na pag intersection, ano daw yung common elements nila. So, ganito tayo mag-represent ng Venn diagram when we say intersection. Nag-shade tayo ng diagram sa middle part. Ibig sabihin, ang ibig sabihin yan class, nandito sa gitnang part na to lahat ng ating same elements. Halimbawa, si set A may 1, si set B may 1 din. Dito natin siya isusulat sa gitnang part or sa intersection ni set A and set B. Then last one, either A or B, which is A union B. So kanina, nung diniscuss natin yung key terms, pag sinabi nating or, that simply means union. Ibig sabihin, i-combine natin yung set A at i-combine natin yung set B. Or ito yung symbol ng union natin. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng elements ni A at lahat din ng elements ni B. Kaya ang may shaded part natin, as you can notice, ay lahat ng set A as well as lahat ng set B. Okay, let's continue. So this picture shows the similarities and difference between moths and butterflies. So the characteristics of moths had been placed in the first circle, which is this one. So ang ibig sabihin, ito yung ating first set sa given Venn diagram. And the butterflies in the second circle, which means ito yung ating set B. Because the two insects have some common features, the two circles have been made to overlap each other. So, ibig sabihin class, may common characteristic kasi ang moths kay butterfly, kaya yung circle natin, which is yung Venn diagram natin, ay nag-overlap sa isa't isa or nagkaroon ng intersection. So, the common features are put into this common area. So, ito po yung ating common area ng ating Venn diagram. So, where the two circles cross each other and overlap, the overlapping region is called the intersection. So, this one. This is our intersection. So, the diagram is put inside a big rectangular, which is called the universal set. So, nasaan ang ating universal set? Ito pong malaking rectangle na to, yung box na yan. Yan. So, the universal set contains everything that we have listed about moths and butterflies. So, ano yung ating common between moths and butterflies? Moths and butterflies both have 2 wings and 6 legs, eat nectar from flowers, and originally came from a caterpillar. So, ibig sabihin, ito pala yung kanilang intersection. So, ganun lang po kasimple. So, let's have our example number 2. So, let's also have another set of our favorite animals, which are water animals and two-legged animals. So, for water animals, we have fish, eel, and jellyfish. And for the two-legged animals, we have bird and cat. So, as you can notice, may similarities ba ang two sets natin? So, very good. Wala. Unlike kanina nung example number 1 natin, may common characteristics yung moth and butterfly. But for this time, yung water animals and yung two-legged animals natin based sa given ay walang similarities. Or simply, pwede nating sabihin na walang intersection. So, when we draw the Venn diagram for these two sets, which is set for water animals, and another set for two-legged animals, there is nothing in common between two groups. So, paano magiging itsura niya? It looks like this one. So, as you can notice, ito yung first set natin, which is yung two-legged animals natin, at nasa loob yung element na bird and bat. Then, yung second natin, which is water animals, which is fish, eel, and jellyfish. So, hindi natin pwede pag-overlap yung dalawang circle natin, just like this one. Yan. Since wala silang common element na pwede nating ilagay sa gitna nito. So, wala namang fish sa two-legged animal. At the same time, wala namang bird and bat sa water animals. So, ganito lang po ang ating representation ng Venn diagram kung wala tayong common elements or intersection. But, always remember na lalagyan nyo pa rin ng rectangular sa gilid, which represent our universal set. So, this is an example of Venn diagram with no intersection, or there are no items that belong to both groups. So, simply, pwede din natin itong tawagin as disjoint sets. So, we can also have our complement. So, when we say complement of a set is everything not in the set. So, for example, kung kukunin natin yung complement ni water animal, so which is this one, water animals. So, ano yung complement niya? Simply, not water animals which are bird and bat. So, ganun lang po kasimple. Again, this is an example of disjoint sets, which is wala tayong common element sa two given sets. Okay, let's continue to our example number 3. So, we have here the set E, which means everything. So, we have the elements fish, eels, platypus, penguins, eagles, and bats. So, we are going to use a Venn diagram to divide these animals into the following two sets, which is two-legged animals and water animals. So, when we do this, we find that penguins belong in both groups. So, as you can notice, ito po yung ating intersection, which means na yung penguin ay merong element kay two-legged animals at the same time kay water animals. So, this means that on our Venn diagram, we will need to have two overlapping circles as the same as our example number 3. And then when we need to put penguins in the middle so that they are inside both circles. Penguins is the intersections of the two sets. So, ito po yung makikita nyo, list ng elements natin. Sa water animals, we have fish, eels, jellyfish, and also penguins. And sa two-legged animals natin, we have penguins again, eagles, and bats. So, this means ang common element nila ay penguin na meron sa set ni two-legged animals at the same time meron din sa set ni water animals. Okay, let's continue. Let's now solve word problems involving Venn diagram. For our word problem number 1, if a set A is the number of people who like dogs in a group of 30 people and there are 23 people in set A, how many people do not like dogs? So, let's analyze first the problem. So, ang hinahanap natin ngayon, how many people do not like dogs? So, ito daw yung ating universal set. Then, ilan yung given set natin? Isa lang, which is yung set A. So, analyze natin yung problem. So, based sa given problem natin, ilan daw yung people na tinanong niya about dogs? So, meron tayong 30 people. So, it simply means na yung universal natin is simply equal dapat to 30. Yan, U is equal to 30. Then, bakit tayo may A' dito sa gilid? Which means, ang hinahanap natin is yung how many people do not like dogs. So, ibig sabihin, ang hinahanap natin for this time is complement. So, based sa given problem natin, again, we have 23 people in set A. So, ano ba yung 23 people na yan? Yan daw, yung gusto nila ng pet na dog. Ibig sabihin, yung set A natin is equal to 23. But for this time, hindi yan yung final answer natin. Since ang hinahanap natin again is ilan daw yung ayaw sa dog. Kung 30 people yung universal natin or yung total number of elements at 23 yung may gusto ng dog, simply, paano natin makukuha si A' or A complement? So, napakasimple lang. Which means, isusubtract lang natin ngayon si 30 saan? Sa 23. Why? Since ang total natin sa universal set is 30 and ang gusto ng dog is 23, so simply ang ating A' or A complement is equal to 7. Kaya 30 minus 23 is equal to 7 people. Ganun lang po kasimple. Okay, let's start to our problem number 2. So in a group of 30 people, 23 like dogs, 15 like cats, and 10 like cats and dogs. So, ito po yung ating given universal set. So, as you can notice, ilang Venn diagram yung ginamit natin, ilang circle yan. Meron tayong 2 overlapping circles, which means meron tayong common elements. So, mamaya, i-identify natin kung ano yung mga numbers sa loob ng Venn diagram. So, for this time, ang given word problem natin, first one, how many like both cats and dogs? How many only like dogs? How many like cats or dogs? And how many did not like cats nor dogs? So, let's start sa first problem natin, which is how many like both cats and dogs. So, as you can notice, ito yung given problem natin, 30 people. Ibig sabihin, yung 30 people, that means yun yung ating universal set. So, ang total ng lahat ng participants natin for this problem is 30. Then, based dito, ilan yung sets natin, ilan yung given natin? We have cats and dogs. So, it means na dalawa lang dapat yung circle natin dito, which is for cat, and the other one is for dog. So, let's analyze. So, sabi dito, meron tayong 23 like dogs, 15 like cats, and 10 like cats and dogs. So, bibigyan ko kayo ng tip para mas mabilis kayo makapaglagay ng number of elements sa loob ng Venn diagram natin. So, hindi pwedeng yung 23, inalagay nyo na agad dito sa loob ng circle natin. So, mag-uumpisa kayo sa pinakadulong given, which is yung similarities nila. So, sabi dito sa problem natin, 10 like cats and dogs. So, ibig sabihin, yung number of participants natin na both gusto yung cat and dogs is simply 10. So, ilalagay natin yun sa gitna, which means ito po yung ating intersection. Then, afterwards, sabi dito, 15 like cats. So, ito yung ating cat, set ng cat, itong circle na to. So, as you can notice, meron na tayong 10 sa loob ng circle cat. So, kung ito yung ating set ng cat, so kasama pa rin si 10 sa loob ng set cat natin. Based sa given problem natin, 15 daw ang gusto ng cat. Kung meron na tayong 10, sa loob ng cat natin, ilan na lang ang ilalagay natin dito sa natitirang side ng cat. So, susubtract lang natin, 15 minus 10 is simply 5. So, very good. So, ilalagay natin dito si element na 5. Ganun lang po kasimple. Or 5 plus 10 is simply 15. Then, yung last na given natin is 23. So, 23 daw yung gusto ng dogs. So, kung ito yung ating set ng dog, itong buong circle na to, as you can notice, meron na kasi tayong 10 kanina na kasama ng dog. So, ilan na lang yung ilalagay natin dito sa natitirang element. So, ganun lang din. Kung ano yung ginawa nyo sa cat, gagawin nyo lang din ngayon kay dog. So, simply subtract 23 minus 10 is simply 13. So, yan na po yung ating Venn diagram based sa given problem. So, we can proceed sa ating follow-up questions. So, first question natin, how many like both cats and dogs? So, ngayon, ang hahanapin natin ay both cats and dogs. Gusto daw ng cat at gusto din ng dogs. Ibig sabihin, yung kanilang intersection. So, based naman dito sa ating problem, kitang-kita naman na 10 like boats and cats, or the intersection of cat and dogs is simply 10. Ganun lang po kasimple. Then, how many only like dogs? So, ang key term na nakita nyo dito is only. So, ibig sabihin, wala dapat kasamang cat. So, kanina sa problem natin, ang sabi dito, 23 like dogs. But, eto po kasing 23 na to ay may kasama ding cats, hindi lang dogs. But for the problem, ang hinahanap natin is only like dogs. So, balikan natin ngayon yung ating Venn diagram. So, again, ang total elements natin sa ating dog is 23 or simply 10 plus 13. So, kung dogs lang daw ang hahanapin natin, so, anong gagamitin natin? Paano natin siya makukuha? So, pwede nyo lang isubtract yung 23, which is yung total participants na gusto ng dog, ima-minus natin sa intersection na 10, why? Since yung 10 kasi, pwede may kasamang cat yan. Pero ang hinahanap lang natin for this time is dog. So, subtract natin kay 10. So, simply, ang gusto lang ng dog is 13. So, or pwede nyo makita na itong side na to. Ito lang yung may dogs lang. Walang kasamang cat. Ganun lang po kasimple. Then, how many like cats or dogs? So, as you can notice, dito sa time na to, may keyword tayo na or. So, kung natatandaan nyo yung kaninang diagram natin, so ang or is underneath union. Or pag sinabi natin union, we're going to combine all elements. So, simply, ano-ano ba yung cats and dogs nating elements? Ilan sila? So, we have here 5 plus 10 plus 13. So, add lang natin. 5 plus 10 plus 13 is simply how many? Very good. 28. So, ibig sabihin, ang may gusto ng dogs and cats is simply 28 participants. So, last question, how many did not like cats nor dogs? So, ilang participants daw yung ayaw ng cat at the same time ayaw ng dogs? So, balikan natin yung previous problem natin, which is etong problem number 3, na ang sagot natin is how many? Very good, 28. So, 28 daw yung may gusto ng cat at gusto ng dog. Kaso, sa problem number 4 natin, kabaliktaran. No, complement naman. So, pwede nating isubtract na lang yung total, which is yung universal set natin, 30 kay 28, para makuha yung ating final answer. So, simply, 30 minus 28 is 2. Very good. So, 2 participants daw yung ayaw ng dog at the same time ayaw din ng cat. So, pwede nating ilagay yung 2 dito sa labas ng Venn diagram natin ng cat and dog to represent na yung etong dalawang participants na to ay walang sinagot kay cat or kay dog. So, ganun lang po siya kasimple. Okay, for our word problem number 3. So, 40 people asked about the social media accounts that they have. So, meron tayong 3 given sets dito, which are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So, for our set F, let people who have Facebook accounts. For our set P, people who have Twitter accounts, and for our set I, people who have Instagram accounts. So as you can notice, since tatlo yung given sets natin, tatlo din dapat yung circle sa ating Venn diagram. Then, as you can notice, overlapping sila. It means na may same elements yung set F, I, and T natin. Then, wag din kakalimutan lagay yung rectangular natin, then yung letter U to represent our universal set. So, based sa given problem natin, ilan daw yung participants natin, total participants. So, we have 40 people. Okay, let's start. So, the question is, how many people have, number 1, Facebook accounts? So, as you can notice, meron tayong tatlong given set, pero ito yung ating set ni Facebook. So, ang tinatanong ngayon, ilan daw yung may Facebook accounts? So, ang gagawin lang natin dyan, class, kukunin lang natin ilan yung total participants na sinurvey na may Facebook accounts. So, dapat lahat ng nasa loob ng given set natin ni Facebook ay ito total or i-add natin. So, ganito lang po siya. So, magiging 8 plus 7 plus 5 plus 2. So, bakit kasama si 5, si 2, at si 7? Again, still, sila ay part pa rin ng ating set ni Facebook. So, simply, ang may Facebook account sa total participants natin is 22. Ganun lang po kasimple. Next, number 2. How many people have Facebook and Twitter accounts? So, for this time, ang tinatanong natin, ilan daw ang may Facebook and Twitter? So, bakit naka-highlight yung word na it? So, as you can remember sa ating diagram kanina, ang word na it is under ng intersection. So, pag sinabi nating intersection, kukunin lang natin yung common elements between Facebook and Twitter accounts. So, as you can notice, nag-highlight ako dito, which is parang diamond siya, which represent the intersection of Facebook. So, ito po yung ating set ni Facebook. Yan. Facebook. At the same time, ito po yung ating circle ni Twitter. So, kukunin natin yung intersection. So, kitang-kita naman na ang intersection ni Facebook and ni Twitter is 7 and 2. So, we're going to add 7 and 2. And always remember, class, na ito po yung ating symbol for intersection, nakabaliktad na letter U. So, simply, the intersection of Facebook and Twitter is 9. Or 9 participants have Facebook at the same time have Twitter accounts. Okay? Question number 3. How many people have Facebook or Instagram accounts? So, dito naman sa part na to, naka-highlight yung word na or. So, kanina, when we say or, always remember that it represents union. So, when we say union, we're going to combine the elements from Facebook and set of Instagram. So, asan yung Facebook natin? Ito pong part na to. And yung Instagram natin, ito pong part na to ni Seth. So, we're going to add elements from Facebook and elements from Instagram. So, simply, 8 plus 7 plus 5 plus 2. Then, for Instagram, plus 4 plus 3. Then, we're going to add, forget the total. So, F union Instagram or I is simply 29. So, ganun lang po ka-simple. Next, problem number 4. So, how many people have Twitter and Instagram accounts? Again, when we say N, it is under intersection or we're going to have the common elements of Twitter and Instagram. So, nasan po yung Twitter and Instagram? Instagram natin, this part. This one is the Twitter. And ito po yung ating Instagram. Yan. So, kukunin lang natin yung intersection ni Twitter at ni Instagram. So, asan ba yung intersection nila? Ito po. Ito po ang kanilang intersection. Ayan. So, intersection lang ni Twitter and Instagram. So, kung kukunin natin ang intersection ni Twitter and Instagram, we only have 2 and 4. So, simply, the final answer is 6. Or, the students have Twitter and Instagram accounts is simply 6 participants. Next, question number 5. How many people have Facebook or Twitter accounts? So, just like the problem number 3, ang hahanapin natin dito is union. Since, as you can notice, ang keyword natin dito is or. So, we're going to combine the elements from Facebook and Twitter. So, let's have Facebook 8, 7, 5, 2, and for Twitter, we have 4 and 6. Take note class, hindi nyo na kailangan ulitin again yung 2 at 7. So, isang beses nyo lang siya isusulat. Understood na yon na part siya ni Facebook at the same time part ni Twitter. Then, add nyo lang po yung ating given to get the union of Facebook and Twitter. So, simply, the final answer is 32. Okay, next, for our problem number 6, how many people have Facebook accounts only? So, for this time, ang tinatanong na lang natin is Facebook account only. Wala na dapat kasamang Instagram at the same time wala na dapat kasamang Twitter. So, paano natin malalaman yon? So, unang-una, ito yung ating set ni Facebook. So, itong circle na to. So, as you can notice, may overlapping dito kay Instagram at kay Twitter, which is 5 for Instagram, 2 and 7 for Twitter. So, isasama pa ba natin yung 5, 2, and 7? So, very good. Hindi na dapat kasama si 5, 2, at 7 sa final answer natin pag ang tinatanong ay Facebook only. Bakit? Since pag sinama natin si 5, automatic pwedeng kasama niya si Instagram. Ganon din si 2. So, same as 7, automatic yon kasama niya si Twitter. Kaya ang final answer lang natin for number 6 is simply 8. So, ang ating participants na may Facebook account only is simply 8 participants. Or as you can notice, dito ang ginamit natin ay difference. So, minus lang natin yung may Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account. Then, for number 7. So, Twitter and Instagram, but not Facebook accounts. So, medyo nakakalito, no? Dalawa na yung key terms natin. Una, kunin muna natin yung Twitter and Instagram. So, again, pag sinabi natin and, yung keyword natin na and, it represents intersection. Or, kukunin natin yung common elements. Very good. Ng ano? Ng Twitter at ng Instagram. So, ano yung common elements nila? Again, we have, kung ito yung ating Instagram accounts, at ito yung ating Twitter accounts, so, saan sila nag-overlap? So, kitang-kita naman na nag-overlap sila kay 2 and 4. So, simply, ang Twitter and Instagram natin is how many? Simply, 6. But for this time, ang hinahanap natin is but not Facebook accounts. Ibig sabihin, hindi daw kasali pala dapat ang Facebook. Pero, kanina, yung 2 and 4 natin, as you can notice, si 2, part siya ni Facebook. So, So, dapat hindi na pala natin sinama si 2 para makuha natin yung sagot sa number 7. So, ang hinahanap lang kasi natin is Twitter and Instagram. So, kung Twitter and Instagram lang dapat, ang final answer natin should be very good. Simply 4 lang. Since si 2 again is nag-overlap na sa set ni Facebook. And next, for our question number 8. So, Facebook or Twitter. So, kung kanina ang ginamit natin ay and, ngayon naman or. So, again, when we say or, it represents union or combination ng lahat ng elements natin kay Facebook at the same time kay Twitter. So, ano-ano yon? We have 8, 5, 2, 7, 4, and 6. But for this time, ang tinatanong natin is, but not Instagram account. So, asan ba yung Instagram natin? Ito po. Ito pong circle na to ang Instagram. So, ibig sabihin class, hindi natin isasama yung ating Instagram account or Instagram element. So, ano-anong elements lang yon? So, simply, we have 8, we have 7, and we have 6. So, hindi kasama si 5, si 2, at si 4. Kahit nasa loob pa siya ni Facebook at ni Twitter. Bakit? Kasi nga, nag-overlap na siya kanino? Kay Instagram. Sabi nga natin, but not Instagram. So, ang sagot lang natin sa letter A, number 8 should be 8 plus 7 plus 6 is simply 21. So, ganun lang po kasimple. So, okay, let's proceed to our question number 9. So, how many people have all 3? So, sa unang basa nyo, ang maiisip agad ng iba dyan, you just need to add Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. Bakit? Since ang tinatanong natin ay lahat daw ng elements ni Facebook, Twitter, at Instagram. Pero hindi po ganun class. So, para makuha natin yung intersection ng lahat ng elements natin, which is sa Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, kukunin lang natin yung intersection nilang tatlo. So, as you can notice, kung ito yung ito yung Facebook accounts natin, ito yung ating set, ayan, then ito yung ating Twitter accounts, at the same time, ito yung ating Instagram accounts. So, saan sila nagkaroon ng overlapping tatlo? So, makikita naman, sobra, na ito yung ating overlapping. Simply, 2. So, bakit 2? Since, as you can notice, yung 2 is part ng Facebook. Yung 2 is part ng Instagram. And yung 2 is part also ng Twitter. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng dalawang participants na to ay may Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Unlike nung number 5 natin dito, ang 5 ay Facebook and Instagram lang, walang Twitter. Yung 7, Facebook and Twitter lang, walang Instagram. At the same time yung 4, Instagram and Twitter lang, walang Facebook. Kaya kung kukunin natin yung may tatlong accounts, kay Facebook, kay Instagram, at kay Twitter, may account, simply yung sagot natin ay 2. So, ganun lang po kasimple. Next, number 10, neither one of the 3. So, paano naman pag sinabi natin neither? So, ang hinahanap natin for this time is complement. So, paano nga ba pag sinabi natin complement? So, babalikan natin ngayon yung total number of participants natin, which is 40. So, pwede nyo munang kunin yung total ng may Facebook, Instagram, at Twitter. So, i-add natin lahat ng elements from 8, 7, 5, 2, 4, 3, and 6. So, para makuha natin yung total participants na may Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So, simply, ang sagot natin for that one is 35 participants. So, ang tinatanong natin, ilan daw yung neither one of the three. Ibig sabihin, wala miski isang Facebook, Instagram, at Twitter. So, kaya kailangan natin yung total participants na sinurvey natin. We're going to subtract 40 by 35. So, 40 minus 35 is simply 5. Or the complement of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is simply 5. So, I hope you understand our given word problems. Okay, let's have our exercises number 1, which is about truth or false. So, write true if the statement is correct, false if not. For our problem, the Venn diagram below shows how all the first-year students of Bagbag National High School go to school. So, as you can notice, ito po yung ating universal set. Then, meron tayong 3 given sets dito, which is bus, tricycle, sidecar. Then, meron tayo ditong walking 100 participants or students. So, for bus, we have 55, 70, 19, 15, tricycle 76, 20, sidecar 76. So, let's check sa mga follow-up questions natin kung tama ba yung given data. Okay, let's start. For our first statement, true or false? So, 17 students ride in a bus, tricycle, and sidecar going to their school. So, ang tinatanong dito, bus, tricycle, and sidecar. So, as you can notice, ang key term natin dito is the word and. And when we hear the word and, it represents intersection. So, ano daw ang intersection ng bus, ng tricycle, at the same time ng sidecar? Kumbaga, sa previous example natin, all three. Dapat may bus, may tricycle, and may sidecar. Is it 17 na nandito sa part na to? But the 17, as you can notice, nasa part lang siya ni set bus. Set bus, ito pong circle na to. And yung set ni sidecar. So, wala siya sa tricycle. It means na wala siya sa intersection ng tatlo. So, ano dapat ang tamang sagot? The answer should be very good, 15. So, 17 should be 15 students. Why? So, the statement is false. So, dapat nasa intersection ni bus at the same time nasa intersection ni tricycle and sidecar. Pero, yung 17 kasi class, wala siya sa intersection ni tricycle. Nasa intersection lang siya ni bus and sidecar. So, yun po yung ating answer. Then, next statement, statement number 2. 30 students ride in both a bus and a tricycle. So, ang ating keyword sa part na to is the word and. So, again, when we say and, it represents intersection. Or ano ba yung common element ni set ng bus at ni set ng tricycle? So, kukunin natin yung kanilang common elements, which is this part. So, as you can notice, we have element 19 plus 15. Very good. So, kung meron tayo yung 15 and 19 in the intersection of bus and tricycle, the total should be, is it 30? Very good. The statement is false. So, that should be what? That should be 34. Very good class. So, 34 students ride in both bus and a tricycle. So, let's continue on our statement number 3. Statement number 3. 32 students ride in both bus and sidecar. So, for this time, ang tinatanong naman natin is bus and sidecar. Pero ang ginamit pa rin nating key term is the word and. And it represents again intersection. So again, when we say intersection, we're going to find the common element of bus and sidecar. So since ito yung bus, ito yung Venn diagram ni bus, and ito yung Venn diagram ni sidecar, so ano yung common element nila? So nasa gitna nilang dalawa si 17 and 15, which is 17 plus 15 is simply 32. That's why our statement is true. Very good. Next, how many students go to school? First one, in a bus only. So, ito po yung bus. Yung circle ni bus. So, set bus. So, ang tinatanong natin ngayon, bus only. Ibig sabihin walang kasamang tricycle and sidecar. So, eliminate natin yung mga element na may tricycle sa itong part na to. Yung 19 and 15, hindi na pwede. Since kasama siya sa circle ni tricycle. Same as si 17, hindi na pwede since kasama siya sa set ni sidecar. So, ano lang yung participants na nagra-ride ng bus only? So, is it 19? True or false? Very good. False. So, it should be 50. Again, that is 50. 55. Very good. So, since 55 students lang yung nagra-ride ng bus, hindi siya sumasakay ng tricycle at the same time hindi sumasakay ng sidecar. So, ganun lang po kasimple. Mag-identify na elements. Next, in the sidecar only. So, kanina ang tinatanong natin ay bus. So, for this time, ang tinatanong naman natin is sidecar. So, extract muna natin yung may mga intersection, which is this part, and this part. So, ano yung natira na gumagamit lang ng sidecar? So, that is 76. Is it true or false? Very good, true. So, 76 students. Next one, tricycle only. So, asan ba yung tricycle natin? So, ito po, circle na to ang nagre-represent ng buong set ni tricycle. But for this time, ang hinahanap natin is tricycle only. So, si 19 ay kasama ni bus, same as 15. Then, si 20 ay kasama ni sidecar. So, ang natira lang for tricycle should be, is it 20? True or false? Very good. That is false. So, that should be, again, 76. Very good. Since 76 lang ang nagra-ride ng tricycle only. Then, let's continue for our next problem. Walking. Is it 100 for walking based on our problem? So, nandito po yung walking natin. Is it 100? True or false? Very good. So, true. Kitang-kita naman, no? Based sa Venn diagram natin na 100 ang naglalakad lang papunta ng school. Then, lastly, there are 370 first-year students in Bagbag National High School. So, paano natin makukuha kung ang statement ay true or false? So, simply, we're going to get the total. So, i-add lang natin silang lahat, no? 55 plus 19 plus 15, you can add now to verify. 17, 20, 76, 76, and 100. Is it true or false? The answer is false. Very good. Since the total participants na nagra-ride ng bus, tricycle, sidecar, at nagwo-walk is 370. How many? 78. Very good. So that's why the statement is false. Okay, let's continue on our exercises number 2. You're going to answer the following problems. So for our problem number 1, Mrs. Aguinaldo asks a group of students what mobile games do they play. So for Mobile Legend, we have 30 students, Call of Duty 27, both 12 students, and Do Not Play Any 5 students. So for your question, how many students have she asked? But before you're going to answer that question, you need to first complete the given Venn diagram. So this is the given Venn diagram. So identify nyo lang at ilan yung ML, ilan yung susulat nyo sa part na to, ilan yung intersection nila, then ilan yung COD or Call of Duty. Then ilan din yung nasa labas ng Venn diagram natin. Then for our question number 2. Okay, for our problem number 2, in a group of people, 100 people, 70 people like coffee, 45 like tea, and 28 like both. So how many like both coffee and tea? How many only like coffee? How many only like tea? How many like coffee or tea? And how many like neither coffee nor tea? So para din nasagutan nyo yung given questions natin, you need to accomplish first the given Venn diagram, just like in problem A. So you may start now. Okay, let's check our problem number 3. Again, you need first to accomplish the Venn diagram for you to answer the given problem. So how many students have she asked? And how many plays ML only? So, lagyan muna natin ng given elements yung set ni ML at yung set ni COD. So, based dito sa given problem natin, again, yung tip ko sa inyo, lagi tayong backward maglagay ng elements. So, since meron tayong do not play any 5 students here, so hindi natin siya pwedeng ilagay sa loob ni set ni ML at ni set ni COD. So that's why ilalagay lang natin siya sa labas ng ating 2 given sets. Sa loob pa rin dapat ng universal set. Then sabi dito sa ating given, 12 students ang naglalaro ng both ML at COD. So since both, pag sinabi natin both, common elements yun or intersection. So, yung 12 ay ilalagay natin saan? Sa intersection or sa overlapping ni circle ML at ni circle COD. So, 12 yung kanilang intersection. Then, Call of Duty. Since 27 students daw ang naglalaro ng Call of Duty, since ang Call of Duty natin, itong circle na to, buong circle na to, at as you can notice, kasama dun dapat si 12 na nilagay na natin kanina. Since meron na tayong 12, so ilan na lang dapat ang ilalagay natin kay Call of Duty? So simply, susubtract lang natin 27. Dito ko lang isusulat pero hindi dapat siya kasama sa loob ng set natin para makita nyo lang yung ating explanation. So 27 minus 12 is simply how many students? Simply 15 students. Very good. Ang isusulat na lang natin dito sa loob ng Call of Duty. 12 plus 15 is simply 27. Then last for ML, so same lang din ang ginawa natin kay Call of Duty. So magiging 12 or 30. So subtract natin kanino? Kay 12 para makuha yung less kay ML or yung natitira kay ML. So 30 minus 12 is simply 18 students ang naglalaro ng ML only. So meron na tayong given element. So we have for ML only 18, for COD only 15, and for their intersection 15. And 5 students yung hindi naglalaro ng ML at Call of Duty. So, let's answer the problem. So, first one, how many students have she asked? So, paano natin makukuha yung total number of students? Tulad kanina. So, i-add lang natin yung given data natin. So, simply, add lang natin siya. 18 plus 2, which is 30. 30 plus 15, which is 45. Then, 45 plus 5, which is 50. Ibig sabihin, ang total number of participants natin is simply 50 students. So, ganun lang po kasimple. Hindi nyo pwede i-add dito based sa given natin. Since kitang-kita naman 30 plus 27 plus 12 plus 5, sobra-sobra siya ng 50. So, ano muna yung dapat gawin? Kailangan gawin nyo muna yung ating Venn diagram. The next one, how many plays ML only? So, for this time, ang tinatanong natin is ML only. So, asan ba again yung ating Venn diagram ni ML? So, ito pong circle na to, nagre-represent ng ML. But as you can notice, may kasama siyang 12. Yung 12 is part ni COD. So, isasama ba natin yung 12 or not? Very good, hindi. Since ang tinatanong natin is ML only. So, the answer for this question is simply 18. Very good. Okay, let's answer problem letter B. So, in a group of 100 people, 70 people like coffee, 45 like tea, and 28 like both. So, tulad kanina, we need to first accomplish the Venn diagram here para makuha natin yung ating mga sagot sa follow-up questions natin. So, analyze muna natin. At yung tulad ng tip ko sa inyo, lagi kayong backward maglagay ng data. So, sabi dito, 28 like both. Ibig sabihin, 28 daw yung gusto ng coffee at the same time gusto ng tea. So, yung set C natin, it represents coffee. Yung set P, it represents tea. So, ibig sabihin, may overlapping dapat yung Venn diagram nyo since may similarities sila. So, yan, may overlapping tayo sa part na to. So, again, 28 like both. So, ibig sabihin, yung 28 ay isusulat natin saan? Sa intersection ni coffee and ni tea. Ganyan po yung tamang illustration. Then, based dito, sabi 45 like tea. So, since may 28 na tayo at si 28 ay still part ng ating set P, so, what we are going to do? So, we're going to subtract 45 subtracted by what? By 28. Very good. So, 45 minus 28 is, again, what's your answer? Very good. That is 17. So, 45 minus 28 is 17. So, isusulat natin siya dito sa loob ng circle P natin. Or simply, 28 plus 17 is 45. Next, 70 like coffee. So, since meron na tayo again 28 sa ating set C, so 70, subtract lang natin saan? Sa 28 para makuha natin yung natitira. So, 70 minus 28 is simply, very good, 42. So, yan na po yung representation natin ng intersection ni coffee and tea at the same time ni coffee only at ni tea only. But, for this time, meron tayong 100 people. So, kung meron tayong 42, meron tayong 28, and meron tayong 17, ilan ang total nun? So, ang universal set natin again is how many? Very good. 100 since naka-indicate sa problem natin na 100 people ang sinurvey. So, ang total ni 42, 28 at 17 ay how many? Again? Very good. 87. So, anong gagawin natin? So, subtract lang natin yung 87 kay 100. So, minus 87. So, simply 100 minus 87 is equal to very good, 13. So, ibig sabihin 13 yung hindi nagkakape at the same time ayaw din ng T. So, since kompleto na yung ating Venn diagram, we can now start answering the follow-up questions. So, first question, how many like both coffee and tea? So, kitang-kita naman ang tinatanong natin is both coffee and tea. So, ang hinahanap natin is intersection. So, asan ng ating intersection? Ito pong part na to, which is none other than. Very good. Your answer should be 28. Next question. How many only like coffee? So, for this time, ang tinatanong natin ay coffee only. So, since ito yung ating coffee, set coffee, but si 28 ay part also ni tea. Ang tinatanong natin is coffee only. Simply, the answer should be 40. Very good. 42. Then, next question. How many only like tea? So, same as tea only. Yung 28 kasi is part also ni coffee. So, the answer should be none other than 17. Then, how many like coffee or tea? So, ang key term natin dito is or. So, when we say or, it represents union. So, simply, combine all the elements from coffee and tea. So, we're going to add 42 plus 28 plus 17, which is 87. Very good. And last question, how many like neither no coffee nor tea? Ibig sabihin, ayaw ng coffee, ayaw din ng tea. So, simply, subtract lang natin 100, this one, 100 minus yung total natin ng gusto ng coffee and tea, which is 87. That's why the answer for our last question should be very good, 13. So, that is the answer. Okay, let's recap. So, again, when we say Venn-Muller diagram, it is also known as Venn diagram, a pictorial representations of sets represented by closed figures. It is used to show relationships between sets and to illustrate various operations like union, intersection, and difference. Then, this is the symbol for union. When we say union, the set of all distinct elements that are in set A or in set B. So, remember our key terms, the word or. Then, this is our symbol for intersection, means the set of all distinct elements that are in both A and in B, or simply their common elements. And simply, last for difference, this is our symbol. It consists elements that are in A but not in B. Okay, class. I hope you learned something for today. This is Ma'am Lurleen E. Tolentino, your grade 7 math teacher, saying, stay safe and happy learning. God bless!
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share!